to the women's final at the 2022 Boulder World Cup here in Salt Lake City. Relatively rare. You get to see our finalists, competitors, head-to-head, community side of it. But we're going to get things kicked off here with this changing angles boulder. Dan, walk us through this. This looks gnarly.
Well, let's have a good see how they go about this start. It is, the holes that they're going to are quite far away, so it's most likely that the method through this section will be dynamic. But you can see here on the zone and further past the zone, these holes are very, very slopey. The more slabby or vertical climbs, you have to think about your body position, and then once you come to this overhanging section, suddenly you have to activate the big muscles and start pulling hard.
Miho is going to show us that. First climber, first boulder, women's final, coming out with a bang.
But while calculating everything else, that really is
exactly the right word for this, is calculations getting done. Oh, that's as close as she's been.
And throw the foot out and pull with that shoulder. Very difficult. Let's see now. Almost just coming a bit swing. Let's have a see now. There it is.
Yes. Just very carefully making sure. Miho Nanaka now into the middle of this climb. That's a zone getting established.
1 minute left. Keep an eye out. These holds are exceptionally poor. Very difficult to hold on to. See that sloper? She's almost sliding off as she goes.
You're getting forearm friction, everything you can. Look at the tension being held. And then I would invite you
manages to save that flip.
Oh my goodness.
But the power required.
I promise you the foothold that she has to use, you can see it on the top right of your screen there, is absolutely tiny. Miho, a bit of a shrug, wave to the crowd.
Finals tonight, it looks like they've really turned it up in recent times. Let's see now, what can she make on her first attempt at boulder number 1?
Ooh, just a little, look like that left hand
off any second.
She's absolutely relying on the feet to get there quickly enough to help there, that her feet were well established, but just pushed her hand out of the blue hold. Yeah.
Now she sets up. Is she going to try correct something? There she does.
Get that extra, even just the palm on the wall made the difference there. And you see here now coming around this corner. Good look at a tiny little foot chip that requires a foot swap, almost blind, as you're hugging these big volumes.
Squeezing on this sloping volume. Now makes the save.
Saves that left hand.
Now does she have some power here? Loses the foot.
35 seconds. Yeah, enough time to climb the boulder, but she's got to get it this time. No, and just running, asking too much of the body to come through and put that power in. So agonizingly close to that crimp. As you said, the left foot gave out. Coming out now.
See, a very accomplished boulder and lead climber. And lead you would associate not as focused on these dynamic movements, but Jessica Pilz now has
done the combined 2017 all the way up through 2021, so a multi-discipline athlete going left.
One more attempt, let's have a see.
Ooh, to the start move, and just sort of coiling once and getting that spring out. So maybe just trying to
I can do this movement.
Maybe a left foot stab would save the end of this move. Oh,
there it is!
There it is! 23 seconds. She needs to hustle, but I think the boulder is doable. You see her look at the clock there. Just got to make sure no mistakes. Into the big slopers. Look at this foot jam. Gonna have to release that. 10 seconds now. Dannon, is it enough time?
Coming very, very close. It might just be.
Is she gonna go 1, 2?
Oh, it is enough time! Jessica Pilz in the last second.
Buzzer beater top from Jessy Pilz. She is psyched. The crowd is psyched. It does not get any closer than that. Loud up after a couple of stalled attempts from Miho and Camilla. The crowd gets lulled into a bit of a sense of what's going to happen. And then She has showed herself to be absolutely into the mix right away. Heat, which she managed to do then.
Great control.
There we
there.
go. I think she's even having a bit of a, yes, I got that move done. Just sort of a bit of relief maybe.
We've seen two athletes so far fail on this section. Natalia, though, known for being more powerful. Can she continue through?
Just looking a little more comfortable on the left foot, but yes!
Grabs it, and there she finds her way to the top.
Natalia Grossman getting that done in only 4 attempts. That is excellent work.
Final.
We solved our timer issue. Our second climber from the Austrian team. So, is she looking to do something clever here?
Just
going over to have a look.
Static method, decides against, and then going for that method of throwing the left.
To find a little more height, a little more spring out of this first movement. She seems to be quite, that's a little bit
awesome to see, but why don't we watch him find out?
The crowd is thinking about it.
That is the enemy.
Yes! Oh, that's as close as
she'll be looking for a zone. She knows it's still worth something.
a shrug of the shoulders, disappointment for sure. She's gonna have to walk away without a zone on the first boulder.
Will be, I think, definitely within Brooke's skill set to complete this boulder. Let's just see now, can she bring it out at the time she needs to?
Will just get those shoulder muscles working? The job they have to do. A lot to ask to have such a big dynamic movement coming out of isolation.
Big swing now from Brooke.
What is this going to be? Oh my goodness, that is going to be difficult. If she
gain a lot of height to do this. Now she's thinking about a different method. Straight up an attempt, but she's not going to let go so that she doesn't lose those precious points.
There we go, that's better.
With how well that last attempt went.
Yeah, and even there, she slowed it down, dialed it in. That was a smaller jump to precision. Brooke Rabitou now up into the business, getting that toe lock.
There it is. Now we've seen athletes fall out of this section. It is definitely not a given. Brooke Rabitou, how is she going to fare on these massive holds?
Got to release that toe and control the swing. Slow and steady. Yes, Brooke Rabitou measured around the corner.
Great conservation of force there as she gets ready to create movement up to the final move. Another left foot slips.
Complicated move. There we go.
It again. Now we've seen an athlete, Jessica Pilz, fly through the section. Is Brooke going to do the same?
A race against the clock. 13 seconds now. She can't afford to be overly careful. 10. Dannon, does she have it in her? 6 seconds.
6 seconds.
Got to at least
hears
stick
the
crimp.
buzzer.
3. You got to jump. Oh, I don't think so.
On the buzzer.
I don't think so.
The crowd is up, but I don't know if that counts. An official is on his feet, shaking his finger. Now there is big upset.
That's a 0 on the top. If she had not, the crowd is booing. I don't like to hear that. The judges are making very difficult to see. We're going to see an appeal there. So this is our leaderboard right now.
Great to see that connection with the audience.
And we'll go have we got brought in very quickly. Now we'll have a look back at this boulder.
There are some foot jibs here to stand on, so you're not relying just on the friction of the volume. And then the zone, you can see a hold there. It is exceptionally poor, not easy to hold on to. And then the top as well, the angle of that hold. Now getting ready for a second attempt. What method is she going to choose to get through this first crux of our boulder? Reaching up over. There are options here. Into the Gaston. Now, so much body tension. Reaches out for the toe hook. Manages to make it stick. Miho now through the first section. Can she continue on up to the top? Looking very positive now. Comfortably mantling through. Miho Nanaka getting that heel on, reaching up for the top hold. Can she make it match? There it is.
My goodness, there it is. I can't believe that heel hook held on the tiny jib.
Very, very impressive, Miho Nonaka.
Wow, that again.
Scott on boulder number 2.
Locked in, completely different styles of climbing, as you were mentioning. We're going to see a little bit of everything. You must be an expert in most, if not all, styles of climbing to be a successful World Cup. From gentle, high-risk slabs to dynamic coordination style movements. They're just getting better and better and better at unlocking the sport.
Now, same as Miho before, changes the beta up into this Gaston. Coming out though into the compression, looking good. Let's see, can she manage through the second crux and get a top on this boulder?
There's the zone getting established. Just gotta stay with this.
High tension now.
Is she gonna go for that heel hook? Yes, she is.
Finds it. Now we notice it isn't so easy to match the top. Leaning over to the right. Is she going to get the position? Now changes the mind, puts a left heel, finds it comfortably.
There was a sigh of relief. I think she thought, how am I gonna match this? And then made resilience to not come off the wall and then be able to reverse the movement. And I love, I've said it before, Mike Tyson had an absolutely perfect quote, is that everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And sometimes the boulder punches you in the mouth, throws your plan out the window. It's what you do in that moment that can turn the tide on a boulder or on an entire round.
Now let's see Jessica choosing a different method with that high drop knee, but looking quite positive now. She's made her way through this crux on the first attempt, which will make all the difference. It seems like this boulder will be separated by attempts now. Jessica continuing further up. Other athletes have made this section on their first go. Will Jessica?
Just trying to find, you see the side pull, a good look at how well it's blocked, not giving you much of that arete to pull on, and then locking the heel in. Jessy Pilz getting just deciding what to do to match.
Keeping the foot low, very high risk as she stretches all the way out in those toes. Changes the method, now standing on such a bad part of the volume, but she does make it work and finds a top. A flash for Jessica Pilz.
Talia Grossman, she'll know that people have been climbing this boulder very, very quickly, in stark contrast to the boulder just ahead. Just behind, slightly more accurately. Natalia Grossman sitting in 4th based on attempts only, as we saw Boulder 1 stealing lots of tries in lots of different places.
Yeah,
Natalia Grossman will be definitely dialed in, looking for a flash here.
Now let's see, finds the double Gaston. This is the section, if the athletes made it through, they were quite positive at getting a top. Now Natalia
sinking down,
is making it through this section.
Doesn't use the compression that we saw, is going straight to the zone. She's just readjusting for the left foot, but looking quite comfortable here.
Now in this section where everyone's had to take a second to think, where is she going to put the feet? Realizing it's quite hard to hold once you release that foot. Makes it stick. Wow.
I love how the right hand goes up to the best part of the hold in their mind, and then comes all the way back down to the point quickly. And she knows the pressure is layered on. She will be looking for a flash here. She'll be looking for a top for sure to stay in the running. Only 4 boulders. No room for a throwaway, no room for one you can say, that's fine, I don't need to worry about that. You know what's coming as well, so that's sitting in your mind. You've got to put all that aside, dial in what you're looking at. You can't be thinking ahead, you can't be living in the, geez, that's powerful. We haven't seen that just yet.
Wow, really good strength there in the shoulders to reel that swing in. But she is still on the wall on her flash attempt. This could look very good for Francisca Sterrer.
I like this look at the boulder. It sort of shows you the holds are quite far apart. They are quite extended in that position. Here looking just a little Looked like that foot swap needs to hold tension.
Here. And there, look at the face as she's trying. Now, this part has to figure out how to match it. Great compression with the left hand.
Still
will she find balance? She will!
Yes. Took a minute to get that left foot up and around the corner. I love that press against the arete to keep that swing from getting out of control.
Really useful for bringing the body weight headspace right. You can see that big smile, looking for that positivity as she needs to now perform on the final boulders.
Yeah, and something to note that when everyone's taking a long time, the rest behind the wall is almost 20 minutes. But when the climbers are only taking a minute to climb the boulder, and we've been through this in less than 10. So you get about half the rest, and you're asked to come back out, and maybe you've got to put your demons from the previous boulder away sooner than you meant to. Brooke Rabitou going for the double, and the first person we've seen just come up short, making that decision. She needs to control.
Is a beta that she will have thought about during the observation. Now let's see, is she going to try something different or try again to make that work? She's coming in to the Gaston. There's the drop knee. Now it'll be a more static method. Coming out towards the compression. There it is, sticks it.
Excellent adjustment on the fly, as you say, just tipping into that drop knee, going to plan B immediately. Just have to put the top together now.
Very comfortable on that mantle though. Very, very comfortable. I will not be surprised if Brooke cruises her way up to find a top now.
Just looking for that heel hook. She put it in late. Didn't need it to get through this section. Is just gonna find the balance point. And is gonna do it with a left leg dangling. I love it.
Look at that balance. That is an absolute display. The left side
Podium is not established by any means.
setting up for the next boulder. Now we have a full-on slab, not a lot of holes in the wall. Essentially, you could break this thing down into two main movements. It is a running start, this first hold, incredibly bad. So you have to be really composed and balanced on your feet. And then across onto these two blue dishes, which you must mantle in order to reach the top, which has absolutely
And give you a target to put your fingertips on.
exactly.
I'm excited to see this one climb. Miho Nanaka going to give us our first look. Eating high complexity learned movement, very similar. Yes, Miho Nanaka, very similar to the first boulder. She solved this one in 4 tries. Excellent work, dialing that one in.
Stepping across now, jump to and not move out from the wall at all.
Yeah, that
Which
little
was
tiny left stab even.
Perfectly there. And now as she comes across, her body, her hips need to maintain that distance from the wall. They come out, she's not going to be able to hold the hold.
Oh, the 1-2 there, she electing to
Work, but it's not going to be because the hold's any better.
Just interesting, playing with momentum, slowing down. Yes, Miho Nanaka.
Locking with that left hand now. Can she get the foot up for the mantle?
Mobility in there.
Needs to pull into the wall and continue up. Can Miho Nanaka find it? Needs to get pushing upwards.
Just the balance you see here now, getting perched on the left side, trying to get more and more comfortable. The stand up, is there enough in it?
Now needs to get a right foot established. Essentially, there are no handholds now.
Cannot grab the arete. The black tape tells you that is out of bounds. Cannot reach around the corner. Yes, the right toe. This could be it here. Can she hold the turnaround? Miho Nanaka blind going to the finish. I love it.
What
look away
a
match.
great top from Miho Nanaka.
Unable to turn her head, not enough room. That's how, essentially, it's almost as if you were in her ear there, just sort of describing what needs to happen to use those two holds together, and she did it just as you asked of her. Camilla
Holds it
right the first
Camilla.
time.
Fantastic. While that may not have looked dramatic, that may make all the difference as it comes down to attempts at this stage.
Oh my goodness, what a save! How is she holding that tension? The start hold is awful. Camilla Maroney Can she keep it together on her flash attempt? Not quite. Going to be a technical. She's going to show.
Splinter. She's not going to climb with that. That is only going to damage her hand further. Now we will have an appeal. There will have to be a stop in time. Essentially, could see there she wasn't quite focused. She's doing a great job making this first move work every time, but now she does have to go into unknown territory while trying exceptionally hard.
Just sinking down into those heels, trying to generate not too much force. If you push up, getting established onto the second foothold, but she's got this first move locked in.
Really good body awareness there. Camilla now, I imagine she will not be worrying too much about her time running out, as there will have to be something done about the issue that she's just dealt with.
It doesn't look like it though. I don't know if we're at a point where they're going to give her that.
We're not going to get any more splinters. That was not insignificant.
No.
And thankfully enough, it was so large that she could just show it.
Yeah.
If it was something much more smaller, then she couldn't quite display it. There could be some questioning as to whether or not she gets an appeal made.
Jessica making this work in 2 tries. Love to see that. Very quickly unlocking that movement. Going slow and static.
Oh, that looked like that's what she was going for there. Let's have a see. Maybe she'll correct it or change something. We're about to find out.
Just leaning down into that right foot. Carefully shifting that weight as far right as possible before making this hop. Jessica Pilz retreating back to the safety of at least 1 hold. Looks like she's going to lead. Oh, that was interesting too. Sort of went back to the. Very, very useful for Jessy Pilz.
Here we are. Let's see.
Oh, there yes, that little extra wind up. You saw that generate a little extra spring in the hop.
Perfect precision. You saw those hands stick to the hold and they did not budge whatsoever. Now on for the mantle.
Into uncharted territory. And looking that 1 leg press looking very, very good. Jessy Pilz also needed to do the look away, but no problem. She didn't need her right foot on at all. Excellent, excellent show of balance. Jessica Pilz putting away this boulder. Now, carefully putting the towel down. You see that Amish putting that down to get the chalk off their feet. Mats will collect quite a bit of chalk over the course of a round, so you want to be able to stay as clean as possible. Choose into this running pop. Without sort of smashing your elbows and knees. Jesus.
That was an unfortunate.
Trickles in.
Crowd though got her back on her feet. Now she does establish on the start. Just to figure her way through the rest of this boulder.
Getting this wind up. Oh, yes, wonderfully done.
Very, very good. She gave. Look at this.
Hanging. She's just hanging in space. Natalia Grossman.
Such a great display of strength. This hold is very bad as she mantles up. Now let's see, can she get herself close enough to the wall to get that other hand up? It looks like it.
Thumb press to match. Natalia Grossman making the last half of this boulder.
Now we've seen this first move shake up some of our athletes, and it can make all the difference whether or not you can find that balance on the first go.
Just staring it down. Even though you have to measure how many steps are you put your feet on that. Are you doing right, left, right? There we go. Very nice.
First attempt was a bit of a straight on angle. She corrected it, and now look at her eyeing up the next hold.
Yes, getting the 1-2, avoiding the tap around the arete. Very important. And now the rock over.
Can she rock over that foot? That foot comes off. skill, but it is widely accepted in climbing that sometimes movements are just up to chance to a certain amount, and you have to hope you can do it. Now, can she do it again? She can!
Yes, she can. And just needs to correct the amount and directionality of that left foot force. She's got to be composed here. Tons of time on the clock, but definitely thinking about attempts. Having a look back. Oh my goodness. The amount of
turning the knee through, really lying back off of that crimp that's screwed onto the side.
Can she if she can hold the crimp, but she's looks like she's gonna either reset or reverse. Yes, now more of a mental, a lie back on that crimp. Looked like it was gonna be super difficult. Hips away from the wall. That's the casualty. Move 3 or 4 times. You're thinking about the top, but you have to go back and get every move right. You can't just be thinking, what do I do at the top? What do I do at the top? So needs to make this move again. Yeah. Wow. Oh no.
Absolute power in that right arm, but it is a slopey hold, and you saw the friction just slowly degrade. Now she's got 30 seconds left. She's come so close to the top. Francisca Stair will try again and try to get up there.
She's got, I imagine she's just got to go back to original method, left foot, rock over, stand up. There's not enough time to mess around here. Come on, Francisca. 9 seconds. Gotta stand up. Can she hold it? No! Oh, what do I need to do? Francisca Stair getting agonizingly close to a top on boulder number 3.
On the competitive scene.
All right. Brooke getting established right away. I love that.
This is the boulder that comes down to attempts, so this first establishment makes a big difference. Now, can she figure out the next section on her first try?
Yes, dragging her toes across to slow down. Brooke Rabatou getting that chin up, grabbing, smearing, needs everything for it. She is an exceptionally mobile climber.
Big foot pop from Brooke.
Maybe she was thinking just too much about this. The crimp is so bad to be focused on. And then did she just put a little bit too much outward force on the left foot to create that pop? She looked as surprised as we did. Back up into it, gotta shake that off. Brooke Rabatou, important top here to stay in the mix. Yes, good work.
Brilliant movement there.
And back to I mean, the sloper is bad enough that they're choosing to use a terrible crimp, and they're much quicker to get up over in balance. Brooke Rabatou moving with no hesitation. She is going to get a top here. Really good climbing, unlocking that last move with no hesitation.
Great effort from Brooke Rabatou, and she really executed on those first 2 attempts. Amazing. Is taped up for 2 factors. One is that you do not want to get blood on any of the holds. She is last up, but it will affect the ability of other athletes on climbing, the friction they're going to have in those holds. So it is a general rule that an athlete must have the bleeding stopped if they do want to attempt a climb.
And I love that if after the time, we've seen climbers, you know, rise to the challenge time and time again, and Camilla Moroni absolutely doing that there, just getting that first move locked back in. But needs to get more spring here. Has come up shy a few times. See, her power of the possible comes into play. Camilla Moroni, 30 seconds now. Can you get a top? Gotta get springy.
Time is low.
Yes, Camilla!
The hold.
15 seconds, gotta rush.
Looks at the clock.
Right foot in, we haven't seen that yet. Look at this palm down mantle. 6 seconds, come on Camilla Moroni, 5. I don't think she's gonna have enough time, no. Had to rush it.
An effort there, you saw her pulling. She nearly mantled just on the right toe, which is not a method any
zones from the other climbers. Now, the steepest part of the wall, we've already asked so much of these women, and now we're giving them power.
Very much so. And this is thinking how much climbing they've done in the last 2 days. Now we are putting them on the steepest part of the wall, making use of those big muscles in the arms down the side of the body. But they get tired. That's the
excitement to ramp down to the end of the competition, but this boulder has a lot in it to decide the podium positions. Pay attention, pull that app up at home, make your predictions, place your bets. There's not much in it. I'm not even a betting man, and I definitely not going to bet on this one.
Here we are. Let's see, Miho casually through the coordination section. Power in reserve now.
You see there, she can get fourth place with the top. She
Big
is just
move from Miho. This is looking quite positive. One more crux to get to the top of this climb. Will she find herself a flash?
Now this last move needs quite a bit of pop, a lot of contact strength.
Miho Nanaka, a flash on boulder number 4.
Wonderful stuff, Miho Nanaka.
As the Japanese team happy with what they've
last 2 minutes and a sprint to the top. I'm sure her heart might still be racing from that attempt. So maybe that's a good thing. You need to dial up the adrenaline for this boulder.
Let's see, it is using a different skill set than the previous boulder, much more in the arms, as we being shown. Doesn't quite blue handhold that they are finishing on in the coordination sequence.
And even, man, in this flat ledge here, it's amazing that Miho slowed her momentum up. Something special here.
Just gotta go. Camilla displaying it perfectly, jumping up and then campusing.
Yeah, that snap.
There it is.
Wow!
Oh.
Asking the crowd for a little bit of help. 30 seconds to go. This is going to do it. Can she get to the zone? No, Camilla Moritz dipping back into the chalk bag for one more attempt.
But the energy is gone there. She knew, she's accepted it. An amazing performance now from Camilla Moroney.
Tops. A fourth top is going to be huge here, depending on what can be done from Natalia. My goodness, I've got the results open, and I'm having trouble working out what's required to get where.
Jessy, let's see how she manages this coordination move.
No!
Here we are now. Second attempt at the coordination. Close.
Very close. This boulder, not everyone does, but there is a sense of where you think you can finish if you get this
Here
top.
it is.
Yes.
Finds the foot. Now Jessica, can she keep it together for the top? These are big, intense movements. Big jump now for Jessica.
You see her
there it
leaning
is.
back to size it up.
There it is.
Jessica Pilz can put a silver medal around her neck with the top here. Can she maintain composure at the top of this climb?
One last throw. This is not a secure movement she has to do. Here it is.
Oh!
Coming off the wall. Can't snap into the hole. Pilz has to give it her all.
Yeah, oh my goodness, slowed it down there. Thought that was going to be perfect control. One more, and she's going to have to rush.
Finds it again. Could this be a last second top for Jessica?
20 seconds, more than enough time. Just has to stay composed, has to get this last move right. Denon, are we going to see it?
Silver medal to play for Jessica Pilz.
Oh, she's
looking
fighting.
tired, finding another method. Can't quite pull it together for the top.
Inches away from a top as the clock expires. Way to dig deep. Top here. A zone in only a couple of tries.
Comfortable through the first section.
My goodness.
Natalia Grossman, arms bent, really able to lift her own body weight. Now has to do some particularly difficult moves.
Yes, not even a swing out. The body control here Dan, and I think this is going to be a flash. She's got gold on the line. Can she keep putting this string of wins together? Natalia Grossman. Yes!
There it is.
Natalia Grossman is going to take gold in Salt Lake City. The home crowd loves it. They saw it last year, and they are treated to it again here. Natalia Grossman absolutely putting together an unbelievable final round.
Make their attempts on this last boulder tonight.
Oh. Judge is just about to get up and tell her she could not grab that hold. Oh,
whew, not bad. Here we are. Campus time.
Yes! Great
Excellent
catch.
Effort from Francisca. Now, what she's going to make of the second part of this boulder. A lot of athletes struggling a lot, but it looks like it is something more Francisca's style. Here she is taking a second, chalking up one last move that's going to potentially spit her off. It has spat off other athletes. Can she make it work?
Just trying to sort the feed out. Oh, not getting enough height.
We do have two athletes that really want to know whether or not they can get on top of this boulder.
Yes.
Great use of learned movement. Minute left. Now let's see, can Francisca fix what went wrong in the previous attempt? Looks like she's gonna get in there. She's gonna have another good go. Can Francisca find the top of this boulder?
Needs to generate some power here. Gets higher than
last climb of the day. Why not?
Does she have enough to do this move? This is the telling part. Oh my goodness, I think that is the tank being emptied. Francisca, yes, thank you. A wave to the crowd. A silver medal possible here. My results are not updating quick enough to give me accurate information. My apologies. Brooke Rabatou can fight for a silver medal here. Just got to get a top in less than 5.
Wow! Wow! Absolute amazing recovery there, refusing to come off the wall. Now Brooke, she's through the technical crux. Does she have the power to finish this climb off?
It looks like it. She is climbing with all the spring as if this was her first boulder of the night. Brooke Rabatou for silver. Yes. Looking for a different beta, right foot holds it.
Wow.
Brooke Rabatou is going to take silver right behind her teammate. This is amazing. Wonderful flash from Brooke Rabatou. The crowd has gone off here.
Wow, an amazing turnaround.
Your silver medalist is going to be Brooke Rabatou. Just getting dialed in, needing to top that boulder, doing exactly what was asked for her. What a way to close the night. Your gold medalist, Natalia Grossman. She is absolutely throwing down on the World Cup circuit. Well-deserved gold medal. Didn't come into finals in the top spot, didn't need to be.
Did not need to. An issue there with the flower throw.